Everything's getting more expensive, isn't it? We're getting poorer, and it feels like bargain car brand Dacia should really be more relevant than the moon at a cheese tasting party at the moment. This is the all-new Duster, and it's an SUV that costs just under £19,000. What do you get for your £19,000 version? Well, you get the Essential model, which really is essential. It's got steel wheels, it's got manual air conditioning. Frankly, it makes you look like you're part of a UN relief convoy, but still under 19 grand for a family SUV. That's all right, isn't it? In terms of its looks, I think the new Duster looks absolutely fantastic. It makes the old one look really, really dated. But this still looks beefy, it still looks butch, and it still looks nice and jacked up. But despite being on a new platform, it hasn't actually got any bigger. It's still 4.34 meters long. But yeah, you've got these LED daytime running lights here. You've got LED low beams, but there's no LED main beam option. You've got halogen light when you switch to your main beam. This across here looks like one of those reflectors you get on bicycle wheels, but it's not actually reflective, I don't think. If you come around here, it's got some interesting body cladding on it, which is in a material that Dacia calls Starkle. It's mostly recycled plastic, but it does scratch quite easily. I think that one was Matt Watson, and that's Tim Rodey. So yeah, if you do brush up against things, that's going to look quite shabby quite quickly. But overall, I like it. Look, it's got proper ride height, and you can get a 4x4 version of this, and that is about 2 grand more than just the basic petrol. So again, about 25 grand in this journey trim for a 4-wheel drive version. No more diesel, sadly. The old 1.5 diesel is gone. We've got this expensive hybrid to replace it, which, as I've said already, isn't actually that efficient. Now, the entry-level Essential version of this new Duster is really pared back in here. So I wouldn't have these aircon controls. They only appear with automatic aircon in journey models like this one. They would be down here, taking up this shelf, and you wouldn't have a digital dashboard either, and you wouldn't have an infotainment screen. That stuff all appears in Expression models and upwards. But yeah, digital dash is clear, and this infotainment screen is quite big, it's quite bright, and it's got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so it feels like a modern car. For some reason, when you step up into this journey model, you get this phone holder thing here, which I think unclips. I don't really need that. I've got wireless CarPlay and I've got a wireless charging mat, so why would I want to put it up there? But otherwise, it's a proper Duster in here. It's very robust, and that means this is rock hard, this is rock hard, this is all rock hard, and it feels very plasticky. This is a little bit soft. Now, at this price point, an MG ZS actually feels quite luxurious inside, way more luxurious than this. So if you're interested in a quality interior or quality feeling interior, go and check out the MG. But this is rugged. You've got 2 USB-Cs down there. You've got loads of storage, big cup holders there, and the glove box is only half size because it's based on a French platform, and they don't like giving us right-hand drive people full-size glove boxes. But yeah, this journey model has got some little colourful touches. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you've got these denim blue bits on the doors and on the dashboard and on the seats as well. It looks like a pair of nice jeans, not like my dirty ones. I guess Dacia doesn't have kids with yogurty faces. Check out the rest of it. Considering this is a small SUV, back seat space is actually all right. It's nice and boxy. I'm 6'3". That's my driving position, and I've got knee room, I've got loads of foot room, and headroom is actually really, really good. Now, there is a bit of a tunnel in the middle of the floor, so your middle seat passenger is going to be a little bit cramped. I've had my child seats back here, and I've been using it as a family car, and it's actually been pretty good. There are some slight curiosities, like the zips to open the ISOFIX covers. They are not as flimsy feeling as the ones you get in Peugeots, but they're still just unnecessary faff. And I do like the fact you get these trays as floor mats, so you can just empty your children's muck out of the car when you've done a holiday or something like that. You've also got this weird eye-clip system, which is just a thing that you can clip things to, such as this torch. I don't know why that exists, but it does. You've got a couple of USB-Cs down here. While I am talking about children, I should point out this Dacia Duster, although it's a newish car, or all new car, has only got a 3-star Euro NCAP rating. It's about 85% score for child occupant protection, less for adults, and if you run anyone over, not very good at all, and it loses quite a lot of marks for not having as much electronic safety stuff on it as some other modern cars. If you care about that sort of thing, I just thought I'd point it out. Now, this shot in this video doesn't actually really serve a purpose, other than to point out that the all new Dacia Duster has gas struts. on its bonnet, which I think must make it one of the most affordable cars in history to have gas struts on its bonnet. And I want all of you proper geeks to go down to the comments and tell me if I'm wrong, because I think I might be right. But there it is, the 1.6 litre engine hybrid system. Blah, blah, blah. The new 130 horsepower engine, that's a 1.2 now. I don't think we had that in the previous Duster. So things have improved, and we've got gas struts. Ever since I got my Brazilian butt lift, I look more modern from behind, and that's also true of the new Dacia Duster, of these kind of V-shaped lights there, the new logo and everything. I think it looks very nice. The boot is really big as well. It's 517 litres on the normal front-wheel drive petrol. If you get the 4x4, it drops to 456 litres. If you get the hybrid like this, you're down to 430 litres. So it does shrink quite a lot. But you've got a variable boot floor. You can also use that bit as a divider to stop stuff rattling around, or you can drop it right down to open up more space. There's a little bit of a load lip when you take all the floor stuff out, but that's fine. It hasn't really got any clever features other than a 12-volt socket. There aren't any levers to fold the rear seats down, but I like that. It's a big, honest boot. I should also point out, you do get reversing sensors on every single model. When you get to Expression models, you get a reversing camera, and then you get a surround view monitor on top spec Extreme models. But I'm in the mid-spec Journey model, which starts from £23,000, which feels a bit spicy for a Dacia Duster, I'm not gonna lie. And then I'm in the new full hybrid model, which is £26,000, which even my dead hamster knows that's quite expensive for a Dacia. Now, this still feels like a Duster. It still feels a little bit roly-poly and a little bit agricultural to drive, but actually I find it charming after driving loads of modern tied-down SUVs. The steering's a little bit vague as well, but it does feel noticeably more grown-up than the old Duster, and that's because it's on a platform that's shared with things like the Clio and the Captur and the Duke. So yeah, it does feel more refined and a bit more grown-up than the old one. And yes, it's gonna beep because it thinks I'm speeding, but watch this. One press, two presses, no longer beeping at me. So it wins on the turn off the annoying beeping front as well. Now, this full hybrid model has got a 1.6 petrol engine together with an electric motor. It's got 140 horsepower. It's quick enough, and it can actually drive quite a lot of the time on electric power only around town and things like that. But I'm still only getting 47 mpg, and that's the same you get out of the normal petrol model with 130 horsepower. So if I was choosing an engine for my new Duster, I would just get the petrol and save £3 and not get the hybrid, unless you're buying it for work or something like that. But yeah, it's actually quite pleasant to drive. The ride in this hybrid is a bit more jiggly and a bit firmer than in the normal petrol version because of the weight of the battery and the motor. But it's still not bad, and it still feels like an old school SUV insofar as you actually sit quite high up and you can lord it out over everyone else who's bought sporty SUVs that sit low and couldn't get themselves out of a damp National Trust car park. There are some annoyances though. The wind whistle from the door mirrors is quite pronounced at motorway speeds. There's not as much sound deadening as in something like a Skoda Kamiq, but you know what? If you get the petrol one, it's still an affordable SUV in this day and age, so you can forgive it stuff like that. And look, in hybrid mode, it's really quiet around town as well. It's just when you get up to motorway speeds, as well as that wind whistle, you do get some engine revving that's a bit unpleasant as well. There is a third engine option actually that I forgot to mention. It's the bi-fuel option. It's only available on that entry-level essential model, you know, the UN Relief Convoy one, and that has only got 100 horsepower. It's a 1 litre engine. I quite like that in the small Sandero, and if you fill the LPG tank up and the petrol tank, you can go for miles and miles and miles, but in a bigger car like the Duster, I don't think 100 horsepower is gonna quite cut it. Anyway, let's find out what the rest of this car is all about. The new Dacia Duster, what do I think of it? I think it's really good. It's definitely more upmarket than ever before. That's not hard. The old one was about as upmarket as a Biffa bin, but it's got a sharp look. It's still charming. It just feels rugged, yet more practical and more high-tech than ever before, which makes it a really good family SUV. And if you get the petrol version, not the hybrid or the 4x4, I think it's a reasonable value for money statement as well, which you can't say about many things these days. So yeah, I like it. Steer away from the hybrid because it's a bit jiggly, a bit heavy, and not that much more efficient than the petrol, and it's a very good car. Hello down there. If you've liked this video, please hit like, subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel, and go down to the comments and tell me whether you would buy the new Dacia Duster or a blue BMW Z4.